always start from scratch. So the bottom line is this is a WordPress, a self-hosted WordPress. So, you have a couple different types of WordPress, which is one is, at WordPress.org, which is their version of WordPress. They invented it, but it's the online version. It's not quite, actually, I think it's really inferior. It's good for maybe blogs or something like that, but you can't install your own themes. You can't install your own plugins. You can only do what they have. Then you have what's called self-hosted, which is you have your own server or hosting account. And I'm a host and a registrar. I've been for 20 years, long time before GoDaddy was around. But anyway, once you have a host set up, you can go into either install WordPress your own by setting up a space on the server connected to a database and in PHP level, whichever one that's required, which is 7.4 at the moment. Or you can use the auto installer, which is what I do. I'll just run the auto installer and then go back and set up some things like some of the security that they don't set up. Nowadays, though, a lot of them got that down pretty pat. So you can do that. So let me go ahead. I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to log into one of my own servers. And let me see, I'm a TMD guy. And I'll put it on one of the faster servers. Let's see here. So I'm going to be going through to a cPanel. So this is how you would do it if you had your own hosting. My cPanel is a little different than some, but you might recognize this type. All right, so bottom line is you need to go down to where the script installers are. And I'm going to hit WordPress, install it, and I'm going to put it underneath one of my sites. So I will put it underneath, let me see what I have here. I'm working on something now, YorkPALive.com. I'm going to put it underneath that one. You can select the level of your WordPress, whether it be secure or not. This is a secure socket domain, so I'm going to leave it as in the secure socket. This will be a class. Whoop. Just name it something. And I'm going to disable, I will leave all that. Admin, let me make something here. Give it a password I can remember. And I'll use the classic editor. And we'll do auto upgrade for the theme and the plugins, and also auto update even the minor and major versions of the plugins. And I'm not going to select the theme. Email me the credentials. Let's make sure everything's correct. Don't want to blow up a site that I already have. Okay, that's good. Go ahead and install it. Now, what I'm doing is all the way from scratch. So you'll be able to do this. You can just go get hosting someplace, and then you can do all this yourself. All right, so it's installed. It's going to give you the URL to your site right here. And notice I have it underneath in a folder. Normally it would be in the root of your domain, but I put it under a folder because I already have a website right there. And here is your login, which is, whatever the root is, /WP-admin. So I'm going to go ahead and just click that. That'll take us directly into the system because it carries along with it your login information. Notice we're at the back of the system. So, and I'm going to open it up again this way, which is the front end. And notice that's the front. Okay. All right. So at this point, move some of the stuff out of my way. Let's go over WordPress a little bit. Now, when you have a WordPress install like this, it normally looks like this crap. Notice it just looks horrible. There's really nothing there because WordPress is basically a content management system that you build on top of. So it's really the guts of the of where you put content. And then you have to build you wrap a theme around it and then start adding content to it via the content management system. So I'm going to show you how to do that and set that up. So right now I have 2 tabs open. Actually I have 3, but I'm going to kill this tab here. kill the hosting tab. All right, so I normally do it like this. I always have basically let me kill this right here too. While I'm at it, right here. I'll normally have the front end of the website, which is what your users will see. And then if you hover over once you're logged in, you can go back here and go to your dashboard. So I'll open up two tabs, one with the dashboard, and then one which is what you would see if you weren't on the dashboard, and what I call the front of the website. So let's go to the dashboard for a second and look at that for a second. All right. So when you come to the dashboard, on the left-hand side, you'll see the control panel of the dashboard. You also see the welcome screen, which has a bunch of panes. One second. Okay. Right here, when you come to the welcome screen of WordPress, the first thing I do immediately is let me move this out of my way here. Okay, good. See, that's what I was going to say. Some of the stuff I can't see. Get this stuff out of my way. There. Right here under screen options, first thing I do is I turn off some of this stuff. So we don't care about the welcome screen. We don't care about WordPress events. We don't care about quick draft. Nobody uses quick draft. The other stuff you might want, so we can roll that back up. And these things, these panes, you can move around. So you just grab them and put them anywhere you want, depending upon if you're on a laptop or not, or desktop screen. I normally will use 3. So that's what you get when you first go to your site. As you add more creature features, this thing will grow. All right, somebody's saying something here right quick. WordPress used for creating websites or something. WordPress is used for creating websites, and I'm going to get to that. WordPress is actually the #1 content management system in the world. So WordPress is the engine behind, 75% of the websites across the whole entire world. So you want to learn WordPress, and a lot of people are using WordPress, don't even know they're using it. If you look at sites like CNN or MSNBC or Fox, a lot of those are WordPress sites. Now they're hosted at WordPress.com, costing $1 million a month for hosting. Total different engine, and it's not like WordPress.org. WordPress.com and .org are totally different things. .com is the pro side of WordPress. It's what the big people use. WordPress.org is for people that do blogs, and that's free. And then you can self-host, which is a third thing altogether, but it does use the WordPress.com stuff, but it's on your own server. Okay. So anyway, once you set up this the way you want it, let's go over some of the stuff that's in the back of the dashboard. First, starting across the top of it, notice you got WordPress propaganda over here, which I never look at. This home button right here, this little home. Now notice it says class. Remember when I created it, I gave the website a name of class. So that's that word right there changed according to what you change your website title to. If you hover over that, that's how you can get to the front of your website. What I normally do is just hover over, right mouse click, and open that in another tab. And that's why you'll see 2 different sites. You'll see the dashboard, and then you'll see the front of the site. And I like to jump back and forth as I do work, instead of getting out of the dashboard and coming back into the dashboard. Okay. As we go across, you'll see that's a message bubble. So WordPress is a member-based type of system, if you want it to be, where people can register and log into it. Okay. And when that happens, if someone actually leaves a comment, it'll show, like, in that number, how many comments are available for you to actually moderate. Okay. Let me make sure everybody's getting in right quick. I see these people getting in. Let me make sure I have this set up so that people can come in automatically. Okay. All right. So if we move over, you'll see something that says plus new. Now that's a dynamic thing. So because WordPress is something where you can build functions and add plugins to make it have more features and stuff, this add new will change according to the things that you've added to it. So if we hover over it right now, you'll see the base stuff, which is add post, which is like a blog post, because you can post inside of WordPress. Add media, which is like the images and files and things like that. You can add that. So it's a add new, and then you hit one of these. You can add pages with which are the static components of the page, like your about us, your contact us. Those are pages that don't really change; they're static. Unlike the posts, which are dynamic, those are like articles and things that go in a philo, like first in, last out type of scenario. Then you have add new user, because it's a member-based construct. You can add users manually if you like. We slide over to the right over here, that's your actual account. So you can see your avatar if you have one uploaded. You can get to your account by hitting the admin. I'm admin, but normally it's howdy woo, whatever you've logged in as. You can edit your profile here, and then you can also log out this way. Now this is the back end or the dashboard, okay? Going down along the left side, you'll see the standard stuff again. So you see that add new post? Well, that's the same here, that's post. If you hover over posts, you can do things like look at all your posts. You can add a new post. You can add categories and tags to your posts. Under media, you have more things. You can actually look at the library of what's in the media, and you can add new media here. Because you can add things to the site before you actually use them on a page, and then go back and use them from that media repository as you're building your pages. Or you can build your pages on the fly and add the media as you go. Same with the pages, except pages and posts are about the same, except one is static, and you don't have categories and tags in a page, because WordPress was built as a blog engine first before it became a website system. So you can actually set up as a website with a blog, or a blog with a website, or static images, or static pages. Going down the line here, you have comments, of course. Remember, we can get to those from here. And I'm going to go through each one of those as we start going. The appearance is how you actually install a theme that you wrap around your website to give it its base look that you can then customize. A theme is something like, let's say you have a car, and you have basically inside of the frame and everything like that, but you want to turn it into maybe a Lamborghini from a Mustang. Well, the theme is like putting the body on top. So the base inside is still the car, but you can just swap bodies out and you don't lose anything except the body changes. Still have your windows, you still have your doors, all that kind of stuff. Also in appearance, you customize whatever theme you have through the customize button, or if it's a very complicated theme, it might come with another tab over here that allows you to customize the theme from its own menu. You have widgets, and I'm going to show you what a widget is. If we flip to the front side of the website, widgets are these little things that hover around the site. It could be something in the footer area, it could be on the right or left side. It's basically content that's derived from base content. For instance, you can have a calendar widget. Well, you'd have to install a calendar as a plugin first, and then it would give you like little widgets. Like would be like a little thing that might say recent events or upcoming events. Those would be widgets of a feature that you've put in place via a plugin. Another thing you have are the menus. Now, there's two ways to do menus on a WordPress site. You can do them as you build the page, and I'll show you that in a minute, but I don't recommend that at all. Or you can build your pages and go back and create your menus visually, and that's how I would do it. Now, sometimes you still have to mess around with the menu order on the page itself, if it has menus within menus, that kind of thing. But normally you can get away with just using the menu system that's graphical. The background is part of the customization component, so you can change the background, and then of course you can edit the theme itself, the PHP of the theme. Be careful when you do that, because you could break your site and get what's called the white page of death, which is what happens in WordPress. Because it's PHP. PHP, when it crashes, you normally get nothing but a white screen. Plugins, of course, are where you go get all these new creature features, and of course you can edit the plugin. So you can see your plugins, you can add plugins, you can edit the plugins you have installed. You'd have to know a PHP to do that. Users is where you see your users. You can add users. You can also modify your own profile here. Under tools or other things that, like, for instance, you can import content from another website. That's WordPress. So you go to that WordPress, export it, and then go to this WordPress and import it, and it will bring in all the stuff that you have over there, minus the theme and stuff like that. It's really not seamless, but it's better than rebuilding the site, from scratch. Then, of course, you have site health, which is what we saw right here. And we have export your personal data or erase the personal data. That's a lot of the stuff like, your phone number and user logins and different things like that. Under settings is where we need to go first to actually fix the site to be either a blog or a website first. That is where we set up some basic things. Now you can get to this area in a couple different ways. Under appearance, when you go to customize, you're going to see some of the same things that you see inside of settings. Okay, but let me go through the settings area so you can understand that first. Now, normally, if you had this site built by a webmaster, they would have done all this for you. And then all you have to do is just go in and modify your content, add pages, delete pages, and stuff like that. But I'm going to show you that ahead of time because this is a fresh, brand new site. So the first thing we have to do is under general, we have to set some things. Some of the things are already going to be there. Like there's a site title, there's your tagline. Depending upon your theme, that might not show up and might show up. So we flip to the front side. You'll see that there's the title and there's the tagline, okay, in the theme that's selected at the moment, which looks like crap. Okay, so let's go here. This is the actual true URL of this WordPress install. Now, notice that there's two of these guys. Now, what we do is, I said that backwards, actually. This is what people see, but this is where it really is. When you're trying to stop hackers from getting into WordPress, this is something you can do. The first thing is, because WordPress is always built the same way, in the same construct and structure on the files on the server, they assume that you never change this. So what people do they will install WordPress this way and then go back and move all the files into another folder. Then they'll go tell WordPress that their real files are literally listed somewhere else. That way, when these snoopers come by or hackers come by and crawl your site, they're looking at the standard area, but you have changed it to an area they have no idea where it is. That's a pretty big level to stop hackers from getting in your site, number one. I don't do it a lot. I put in a lot of security stuff to stop from getting hacked, which sometimes it doesn't. Still fails. But the only real way to keep a hacker out is to make a backup. So if they get you, just put it back. This also here, which is called admin email address. This is very important. A lot of people forget to do this. Notice that the website is based on YorkPALive.com. That's the site I'm working on for this year. Well, I put the site underneath a folder called WP underneath the .com, okay? But notice that the .com is, like I say, YorkPALive. So you want to have an email address based on your .com. Some people will build their site and put in some email like Gmail or Hotmail or whatever they have, and they're thinking their site's going to be able to send email from the website. Well, it doesn't work 99.9 times because the server is sitting on, let's say in this case, YorkPALive.com, but you're trying to send email from that same server that says, I don't know, something at YorkPA.gmail, whatever it is. So to the server, it looks like somebody's trying to hack the email server. So your email never goes out. So when you build your site, you definitely want to make an email address based on the domain, even if you don't even look at it, but for the site, so it can send out email from your site, like from your contact us form or any kind of form you have on your site. I also will add this email address to my Outlook or whatever it is so I can check stuff from it, because you'll get email from that internal email address when your site does things, even if you have security issues or somebody logs in or registers to your site. Okay. Next thing is, if it's a membership-based site, are you going to let people register to your site or not? Some people allow people to register, or they will actually add the users manually. And then people just will get their, like if you add a user, it'll actually send an email out to the user saying, this is your new log in and go ahead and create your password. Or you can let people register to the site, and then it will do all that stuff automatic. This depending on what kind of site you're trying to build. Okay. The site language, of course, I'm English and I don't speak real good English. So I speak, English and broken English. So that kind of thing. The time zone. Now, this is also important if you're going to have a calendar on your website, because the calendar is based on this internal time zone issue. Now, let's say, for instance, notice this is the time that I'm looking at. You need this to match your time when you build it. So right now it's saying it's 0026.58 hours, right? Well, of course, that's not true, because this is military time. So it's everything over 12 plus 12. So we will say, what is it, 7:30? So it'd be 12 plus 7. So what is that? 1931. That should be saying 1931, but it's not. So let me change this time zone to Eastern, I think. And this stuff here is really doesn't hurt anything. It's just how you might want your date to show up. And this is how you want your time format to show up. And what your week will start on. I start my weeks on Monday. Some people start theirs on Sunday. So let me save this. Remember, whenever you do anything, you want to save it. And let's see if the time changed. See, so now it says 1932. See, 1932 or 7:32, military time. So we have that set. Next thing we want to do under settings is we want to go to reading first. Reading is basically how a person looks at your website when they first come to the site. So this is how you set up the system to be either a blog or a website, which means it has static pages with the blogs being secondary. Or when you go to the website, you see the blogs first and the static pages are become secondary. Okay. So at that point, let's look. So I'm going to make this a website first, blog second. So to do that, you need to set a landing page, a static home page, instead of it being to show your blog posts as your home page. But to do that, I have to make some pages first. So before I even go in here, I need to go over to pages. Let's look at the pages that we have. We have a couple here. We have a sample page. So let's go ahead and edit that sample page just by hovering over it. And you'll see there's an edit. And I'm going to go ahead and change the name of it here. I'm just going to say home. And this is the permalink for it. A permalink is the actual URL people will see. And you want that permalink to look Englishy. It's better for your SEO. And I'll show you how you change that too. So first, let's go ahead and change that and just say this is home. And that's going to be the new URL for your home page. But we're also going to add another page. So we can either go under pages, hit add, or you can hit this add here, or we go up here and hit add new page. 3 different ways. So I'm going to hit this. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, maybe let me save this. So I have to hit update to save this page. And I'll go over this stuff inside here in a minute. First, let's add another page and give it the title of blogs. So we have to have a place for your blogs to go. Blogs, and we don't care about any of this stuff. We're just going ahead and say publish it. And now notice that it's published. It's visible. It published it at this point, and you can make changes and hit update if you want. Don't worry about this page attributes. This is how you mess with the menu. We're not going to use this feature at all. And there's a featured image. Featured image, I'll go over a little bit in a minute. Featured images are basically images that go with the page. So if you were to share this page to some social media network, it will take this image and make it the image representation of this page and content that's going to show up. If you don't have something there, then the first image you put in the body will become that social image that gets shared. But anyway, let's go back. We now have 2 pages. Let's go ahead and all pages and take a look at it. And there's our 2 pages. Privacy policy comes with the system now, which is great. It sort of makes a privacy policy that you can edit for you. It's in draft mode now, so you have to edit it and then save it or publish it, then it'll be real. But as long as we got these 2 pages here, And notice when I hover over it, I can either edit it, quick edit it, trash it, or view it. I never use quick edit because it doesn't let you use the WYSIWYG version of the editor. But there's how you hit edit. So now that we have this page, so go back to where we were, which is under settings and reading. And now we're going to go to static page and say our home page is going to be home, and our post page where our blogs go are going to be blogs. We're going to show at least 10 posts as their blog posts, and we're going to syndicate those same 10, meaning that people can connect to your site, click on your RSS feed, and they can pull your pages over to their website. It's a good way to get your information out there. We're not going to show full text. We're going to show excerpts of those posts. And right now we're going to discourage search engines from finding this website because this is a class website. We don't want search engines to find it right now. WordPress has the unique ability, when you build it, it pings search engines automatically to let you know that, to let them know that there's a website out there and that you're updating pages. So you don't want to turn that on. It's great for SEO, but you don't want it on right now, or to start going into search and it's really a junk page or junk website. Save that. And if we go back and look on the front of our website right now, if we hit refresh, notice now that the home page has that sample page on it. Okay. Now we have no menus right now, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. All right. Any questions so far? The chat. I opened up the chat box because I do talk sort of fast.
Okay, not for me, Oriani. I'm good.
Okay. All
Great
right.
so far. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, so let's go back to the dashboard again. Remember, I have 2 tabs. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard again. Now we've set the site up so that now when people go to the website, to that domain, it's going to go to the static home page first, and there's going to be a blog page for all our blogs when we actually submit blogs, okay? Because you have to have a location or place for it. Now, under settings again, we're going to go to discussion. Let's back up. Let's go to writing. Writing sets up the system such that when you add a blog post, that it's going to basically have a standard category that you put in, because posts or blog posts have categories and stuff to them. Now, we didn't make any extra categories, so we're going to have one category we can choose from as a default category. There's many formats that you can make a post in. And I use that as, I'll leave it as standard. You can select that when you create a post if you want to change the format of what that page looks like when you post it. Okay. Whether you're going to use the classic editor, which is a WYSIWYG looking editor, or a block editor, which is something that WordPress added a year or so ago, a couple years ago, which I hate. Because basically it allows you to put blocks all over the place to make your page. I don't like that look. I rather use mine that looks like Word, where I can just move my stuff around myself, but that is something that's in the system that's growing, but you can turn it on or off. Allow users to switch editors. I say no, I don't let them switch between the two because I don't even want to deal with it, you know, if they're users of my site. This is an area that no one ever uses that's pretty powerful, but let me explain how it works. Because it has a blog engine in it, or like a posting blog system, you can literally make an email address based on a domain that the site itself can actually go and read or go check. Then you can, that nobody knows about basically. Then you can send something to that email and the site will pick it up and actually post it to a category of your post all by itself. Now, I don't know how this would be any good, but maybe you had like a reporter out in the field. They can send something to an email address and it would just show up on the website. Now, I wouldn't try it, but you know, it could be spelling errors, all kind of stuff, but that's the feature. No one ever uses, like I say, but that's how it works. Once you get done with this, of course, you want to hit save changes. So you always save everything. Again, under settings, we go down here to discussion, because we already did reading. Discussion is how people interact with your posts when they actually are allowed to comment on them. Now, a lot of the stuff is self-explanatory, but I'll tell you right away, the first one you want to turn on is to make sure that when people comment on a post, that it's held for moderation, number one, and you manually approve it, and you turn this off. This one right here says, before a comment appears, comment author must have previously approved comments, and it's 2 comments. Well, if I was a hacker, which I used to be back in the days, not anymore, but I would send 2 good comments, and then after that, I'd just spam the rest of them, because the system will automatically let me post everything after the 3rd one that was approved, or the 2nd one is approved. So you definitely want to turn that feature off. Okay. Then in here, you can put in things for where it can catch stuff. Like if somebody puts in bad words or whatever, you can replace those words with something else. Same here with some of the keywords disallowed. You can also block out people that are causing troubles from your IP address or from their email address and all this kind of stuff. Here, you can allow people to have avatars or not. You can also set the rating of your site. Definitely set it to G unless you truly are something other than G, or you will not be found on Google at all. And here are default avatars, or you can use the Gravatar. I use Gravatars. Now, if you don't know what a Gravatar is, Gravatar.com allows you to put up one avatar in their system, and then many social media sites will find your email address at the Gravatar area and pull that avatar over for you, so your avatar becomes common across all social media systems. That's what Gravatar.com does. Okay. And it's based on my domain, on your email address. So if I turn that on, if I put my email address here at email@darnellsmith.com, it'll go look and find that avatar. All right. Once you're done here, of course, it save changes again. Let's go down under settings again under media. Here's something else that's very special to WordPress. Remember, this is just setting, not really doing anything except setting the system up. And you only do this one time. Under media settings, WordPress does this, and it's actually amazing, and it's also a pain in the butt too. Let's say you took a picture with your camera, and everybody hardly ever changes their definition on their cameras. So they always take a picture at the highest resolution possible. Then they want to go and upload it to their website. Well, what WordPress does for you is when you upload an image to your media, it breaks it down into 3 pieces so you can use it on the website, and it becomes fast. So first, it makes a thumbnail if the image that's uploaded is greater than these numbers. It makes a medium size. This is what you put inside of Word inside of like a newspaper document or something. Okay. So that's set at 300 pixels a piece. So anything over 300 will create one of these. Then the large size, which is normally the full page, anything over 1024 here, it'll create one of those. So let's say you put in a picture that's 4,000 by 4,000 or something. What that means is when you upload it, you're going to have 4 images. You're going to have the original image sitting on your server. That's humongous. And you have this little one, this medium one, and this large one also sitting on the server. So for every picture you upload, you're going to have 4 pictures. And what that does, it eats up a lot of space. Now, to get around that, if you only wanted a few of these, you can just make these numbers humongous. Make them so big that your picture you upload never exceeds it, and it will not create these other sizes of images. Okay. The other thing is, I would turn this on. It'll organize your media files by month and year. Now, this comes in handy when you use the built-in widgets that can look at your posts by date and time and all that kind of stuff. It'll organize stuff for you. Remember I told you about the URL here, this permalink? That's what that's called. Well, right there in the settings of the permalink, this is how you set up the way your URL looks when you make your pages. I personally like the one that says post name, meaning your URLs will look just like the titles of your names of your pages. So for instance, if you make a page called About Us, well, the URL will be your domain / About Us. Okay, it'll look exactly like the way you wrote it. Now, that's great for SEO or for human consumption. If you didn't and use this plain, it would be like $, P = number, all this stuff. It doesn't make any sense. There's some others, like from date name, month name, depending on what your site and how it works. I use this one normally. So that's how it will look. And you can customize and make up your own, which I never do. So I'm not even going to go over it. Make sure you save it. That's my brother snoring in the background. He just dropped down like a rock. All right. Also under settings, they added something called privacy. Now all websites need a privacy policy to be um, to follow some rules of the internet. They make one for you. So right here, you can go ahead and create that page if you like. But remember, they already have a page they've created. So if we say use this page, then that page will be there. If we go back to pages, you'll see this privacy policy is still in draft mode. So we have to edit it. Notice it pulls all the content in, some random stuff using your URL, all that kind of stuff. But you at least have to publish it. So now I can publish it. Now it's available for the site. Notice it's the URL, the website itself / privacy policy. Now, these, what do you call it? Permalinks, they are actually, let me say this, they are case sensitive, anything after the .com. So that's why it'll automatically change everything to a lowercase and put a hyphen in. No matter what you put up here, it's going to produce a proper hyperlink for you. Because if this was actually one uppercase, whatever, it would literally be a different page because it's case sensitive after your .com, okay, or your extension. All right, let's see. Let's go back and look at our pages again. We have all our pages. We have 3 pages now. So they're just sitting. We're not going to use them yet, but we're going to go in and still working our settings. This right here, WPMatamo, that is something that was added to the system that my host provides. And it's a way to, it's a lot of SEO kind of features and stuff. So you won't see this unless you happen to have it. So that's something that will not show up. That's something optional. So I'm not going to go over it. All right, now we actually have our system set up so we actually can go and do something. So let's take a look at our front end. That's the front page. We hate the way it looks. So let's go to the back end again, to the dashboard, and we're going to go and change our appearances right quick. So under appearance, we're going to go to themes. Let's pick some standard basic theme we can work with. A couple come with it, so I'm just going to pick this one here. If we want it more, we go add new theme. We can either upload it if we bought one, or you can get one from the 1500 in the repository. We can filter them by all kind of different features and colors and whatever. We can look at favorite ones, which notice we don't have any. We can look at the latest ones. You'll see all these different themes. You can look at popular ones. Notice there's 4,560 themes here, which is ridiculous. You can't find something in there. I don't know why you'd buy something else. There's just so many different things. And once you get them, you can modify them. So it's not like you're stuck with what they look like. So let me go back to my themes again, just see what I have. I'm just going to pick the standard ugly looking theme, only because it has sort of standard features to it. So I'm going to go ahead and activate that. That's all I needed to do. Now I can customize it if I want. So let's go ahead. First, before I even do that, let's go to the website and take a look on the front end. If I refresh it, notice now it looks something different. Okay, notice that it even has my pages already in the system. It made a temporary menu for me already. All right, so let's go back again. We can go ahead and hit customize here or hit customize there. And now we can customize the theme that we just installed in real time. The first thing I sort of do is, before I even do this, let me get out of it. Hit this exit to bring us back. Is I go and modify my menu. So I'm just going to appearance and go to menu first. Notice there's no menu selected. So we need to create one. I'll just call this main menu. And I'm going to say automatically add my pages to the top level of the menu. You know, not a sub menu, but the top level of the menu. And I'm going to say that whatever I add here, this main menu is also going to be the same thing for my horizontal menu. That's under desktop mode. My expanded menu, if I'm in expanded mode, also for my mobile menu. So if somebody sees this on a mobile device, let's go ahead and create that menu. And notice that you can make individual menus for a mobile device versus a desktop. All right, so there's nothing in the menu at the moment. So let's go ahead and look at these are the pages we created. So view all pages. I want to add these 3 pages, add them to the menu. Now let's move these things around so we can just pick them up and move them where we want them to be. If we wanted to make that a sub page, I would just do that. Just slide it underneath. I can put down here, slide underneath. So it'd be a sub menu of that one above it. Anything against the left side is a top level menu. Anything underneath that, over indented, is a sub of the one above it. And I could put a third one if I really wanted to, like I could do this. So we have a sub of a sub. Okay. So let's put that. That becomes 2 top level menus. We make it all 3 top level. Okay. And then once we get that right, we say save it. And notice that we said automatically add stuff to it when we create these pages. So let's go back and look. It shouldn't change anything. Refresh it. And moved it over a little bit. Put it in the right order. So now we can click on the home, which takes us home. Click on the privacy policy and we see the privacy policy. Click on blogs and we see a first blog that's in there already, the default hello world. So the way blogs work is when you add a blog to your site, it always pushes it onto this page called blog, and they go right underneath each other. It's a philo system, first in, last out. So the last one will be the top level blog, and they just keep pushing it down one after another. Okay. All right. Everybody got that so far? Am I going too fast?
It's good for me. I don't know about the others. This is Oriani. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So now that we got a menu set, let's go ahead now and go appearances and customize the theme. Okay. So now we have some things. Now, everything you install has different customization systems because it has different features and things. So if we click over here under site identity, notice we saw that in settings. That was the site title, and there's a tagline. Now, because we're working in visual mode, we can change this right now. We can say test site, and we get away from it. Notice, see right there, test site. And right here, our first website. And notice that showed up right there. Okay. And remember, if we hit publish, we make the change. We don't have to do it until we get completely done. So we can just back out of here. Go to colors if we like. We can change the colors. That's sort of a pinky color. Let me move that over somewhere. Notice how it changes in real time. Okay. We make it something that doesn't look so horrible. All right. You can also put it in the hex mode of the numbers if you know them. And let me go back. Theme options. Look, show search in header. Notice that's a search right there. If we turn that off, see it disappeared. So depending upon the theme functions and features, we can turn them things on or off. Show bio, which I don't know where that was actually at. I don't see where it was anyway, but turned it on or off. An archive page, show full text or summary. We'll show summaries. Okay, go back. Cover template, fixed back in, they're sort of self-explanatory. Tell you exactly what it is. And we go back, there's a background image. We wanted the background to have an image. And there's menus again, remember? We created this thing called main menu, and we selected the things for that menu. Widgets. Now, I'm going to go over that. This one only has 2 types of widgets, which are 2 footer widgets. That means it has nothing on the side, which would be sidebars, that's what they're called. So it only has footers. And homepage settings, again, that is how we set it to go to our blogs or go to our static pages. Notice I told you can get to that from a couple different places. If you know CSS coding, you can add your CSS coding right here. Okay, or your style sheets. When you're done, you just hit publish. And then the site takes it, and then you can just get out. Now, from this point forward, this is our site. Notice test site, whatever, it changed color. Let's go home. Here's what our home looks like. It's a pretty ugly looking theme. All right, so now let's say we say, you know what, I don't like this theme. Then we can go back to themes and let's go add a theme. And let's pick something that's, I don't want to pick anything too complicated because I'd have to figure it out first. Let's try this one called 2016. If we install it, we don't have to activate it yet, but if we do a live preview, it would show you what the site would look like if you were to use that theme, but it's not active. Notice we go over here and refresh this. See, it hasn't activated it, but we can see it lively here. And then once we're done, we can activate it and publish it. So let's say we like the way it looks. We'll say, okay, let's go ahead and activate and publish it. Now when we go over here and look and refresh this, see, it looks different. We didn't lose anything. There's our home page, there's our privacy policy, there's our blog page, okay? Notice we gained, though, a right sidebar, okay? Let's go back in here. Now we can look at some of the things it can do. There's site identity again. Now we can add a logo if we like. Let's say if we selected and order some. Notice when you hit add logo, it opens up your media library. It's going to get some from the cloud. That's your cloud. Or you can upload files from your hard drive. So I'm going to go ahead and select something. And let's pick some kind of something I might have been playing with here. Let's pick this little thing as a logo. Okay, add it, and you can crop it and do whatever you want here to make it, whatever size you want that logo to be. And it sort of picked it right the first time. Crop it, and now notice it shows up in your site. Okay, it looks terrible, but hey, and this is for test. Let's go back. We can also, when I was there, you can also turn off, if you have a logo that have words, you can turn off your words if you like. Notice the words went away, the title and all that stuff went away. Okay, put it back. Header image. Let's go ahead and pick a header image. See, it's going back to our media, but we're not. We're going to upload one. Let's pick some header image. I had some headers here somewhere. Let me use this Capitol Riot stuff. All right. I'm going to select it and crop it. Notice it's there, and I don't see the cropping tool on this for some reason. Huh. Oh, okay, because it's big enough, so let me just go ahead and crop it the way it is. There's an error. Oh, it didn't like it. So it didn't like that way. Let me try a different one. Add another image. Upload. For some reason, it didn't like that image. Pick this one. Okay, there's the cropping tool. Okay, there you go. So let's pick something. Let's just pick this little area right here. This also tells you about what size it's looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and crop it. And now notice it put that on the website, and we're looking at it in real time, see? So it looks sort of stupid. So I would go back and take the identity. I'd remove the dang logo, and I'd push it up. And I'd probably put my logo inside the header, in this theme, of course. Background, you can change and put a background on there. I'm not going to do that right now, but you get the message. Now you can see the menu is the same. It's a different theme, but notice it has sort of the same features and functions. You can also do things like this and see what it looks like if it's on a phone to see if your site's, responsive or not. Responsive means that it'll modify itself according to the size of what's looking at it, okay? You can look at it on a tablet. Notice how the menu changed to inline menu. Now if you go and look at a desktop, notice it opens it up and gives you the real menu back again. Okay, when we're happy with that, we just go ahead and publish it and drop out of that, drop us back into the dashboard. Okay, let's say we're done with that. I can go and look at widgets. Remember I told you widgets, and now here's the thing where I change the system. Notice it brings up these blocks, these widget blocks. I hate these blocks because they're complicated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do a plugin. I'm going to change this. I'm going to install a new plugin. And I'm going to go to add a plugin, and I'm going to pick classic. And I already have the classic editor installed. I'm going to install the classic widgets. Install it, activate it. Now watch when I go back to widgets. Now it's just easy to work with. So that's your sidebar. Remember when we looked at this, that's that sidebar right here. So now we can control what goes in that sidebar. Notice that there's a lot of widgets that come with your system. Widgets get built from the content that's within your website. So if you add more plugins, you get more widgets, depending upon the plugin. If you added in a e-commerce plugin, then you get widgets for shopping carts and stuff. You add a calendar widget, then you get widgets for the calendar stuff, and so on and so on. Right now, I'm going to leave everything standard, and I'm going to pick a few widgets that are sort of normal. So I'm going to throw these away. I'm just going to pick them up. You drag them, just drop them outside. That throws them away. If you wanted to keep them because you had them set up, you can drag them and put them down here, and it'll save your settings for you to use later at a later date. So let me go ahead and pick. You got two areas. So you got two bottom areas that are probably side by side. Okay, let me throw all this stuff out of here. Whoop, just throw it away. So right now, if we go back to the website, we hit refresh, or just your site name. Notice it has no widgets, has no footers, no nothing. Because it's instant. When you drop and drag these, it saves the system automatically. So let's add something on the sidebar. Let's add recent posts. So we can add it to the sidebar. Or instead of using this, you could drag it if you wanted to and say, and drag it. If you don't name it, it's going to take the name of it by itself. There's some settings in some of these widgets, so I'll leave it the way it is. And I can rename it if I want. I'll say recent post, the same thing it already had, but you can title it, save it, roll it up. Let's go get something else. There's something called Meta, which gives you like a login and stuff, which I don't use, but for this instance, I'll show you. Drag it in there, put it in the order you want. Then we can call this login maybe. Save it. And let's look at the site. When we refresh the site, see that? There's the recent posts. He's pulling content from the system. There's that hello world right there. We click on it. So it's active. And there's your login area. So you can log out and see your feeds and whatever. Okay, let's go back. Put something on the bottom. Let's put, let's see, recent comments. We can drag that on one. If I don't change it, it's going to keep it the way it was. And let me pick something else like, you can put in custom HTML if you wanted to. Let's say you wanted to add a YouTube video in your footer. You drag that right there, call that like, I don't know, video. You can go to YouTube. Let me open up another window. I need to roll this up. Okay, let's open up another window. This thing is in my way. See this window thing keeps getting in my way. I'm trying to figure out let me see if I can minimize that thing. Hold on 1 second. Hide enunciator. No, that didn't work. Trying to minimize this thing. I hate this thing over here. Anyway, let me try to open up another tab. Just touch it. There we go. Go to YouTube. Let's say we wanted to insert a YouTube video somewhere. Let's pick something that's not, a lot of stuff you can't put in your site because they want it only to be shown on YouTube. So let's pick something we know. Here's Bruce Lee's fight, right? Pause that. We can click on share, and we can take, let's see, embed. We can take this content if we want to, copy it, go back to your website, inside that HTML, and paste it in there. Notice what we have to change that size because, you know, that little window is pretty small. So let's say we make it about, I don't know, maybe 250, because that's sort of a standard. Make it 250 by 200. This would be in pixels. Save it. Hit done here. Hit done here if we want. Go look at our site, refresh it. And if it works, which it didn't, let's see here, refresh. I sure don't see it. Oh, I put it in the footer. I'm sorry. There it is. It's in the bottom. So we click that. See, it'll play. So we just put that little code in a widget. We could have put it on the sidebar if we wanted it to. So if let's say we want to move that, we could just drag it over here We can put it up top if we want. And when we go back and look at our site and refresh it, now the video is right there, see? And notice that's a little bit smaller, so we can go back in if we wanted to modify that code and say it's maybe 300 pixels wide. Save it, go back and look at the site, refresh it. See, it got wider. Now it's about exactly right. So that's how we add a little video inside. And this is called a sidebar over here, okay? So we just put in some code. So some of the widgets that we can use, excuse me, can actually be HTML code, but there's all these little widgets. And remember I told you, as you add more features, you get more widgets. So what we've done already now is we've added a menu right there. We've added those pages. We've modified this widget. This widget area, which is called a sidebar. We've modified the bottom of the site, which I don't see anymore. Okay, that's weird. Hit home again. Oh, it is right there. Recent comments, because I don't have any comments in there, I guess. So let me put something over here. Here's a calendar. This now is a calendar of your posts. Okay. So this is a calendar of posts. So we'll just call this post calendar. Calendar. Oh, spelled it wrong. Calendar. Save it. Done. Go back. Up. Get out of my way. Refresh it. And see, there's the calendar right there. So this calendar will show where you've actually made a post. And we had one on the 3rd. Why is it the 3rd? Oh, that's because when we installed it, it had a post already in it, and then we changed the time zone, which made that post look like it was done a day later, a day before. That was sort of weird. Now we can do something with that. Let's say we clicked on that right there. I'm gonna show you a trick. This is that post, right? Well, notice there's something right here now that says edit. We're all logged in, so we have this stuff in our menu. If we edit that post, it's just getting it from the front end. We can then go and edit when it's published. Right here, see it says published on January 3rd. We can edit that and say it was actually published on the 2nd. Okay, that. Update it. And now watch when we go back to the site. This is view the site like this. Now if we go look, see, post calendar right there is on the 2nd. We hit that. It'll show all the posts that happened on the 2nd. But we only had one post. Notice it says January 2nd. Click it, we can see the posts. People can comment on it, blah, 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 all that kind of good stuff. All right. So you guys got how widgets work. All right. Don't see any hands raised, so I'll keep on moving.
Yep. So far, so good.
All righty. So now we got widgets. Let me go back to the front. We got widgets in our sidebar. We got widgets in our footer. We have a home page that we click. We go to the home page. We got some pages we've added. We have a blog area where all the blogs go. So now let's go ahead and add some pages and some posts, and you'll be close to understanding how the whole system works. So let's go back to we can either go to the dashboard, or we can, from the front side, remember I told you, you can hit plus, you can add a post if you like, or you can edit the post you're looking at, the page you're looking at. So we're going to just go and say add new page. Notice it looks like Word. So you can actually get better editors. You can install through a plugin to make a better editor if you like. There's multiple different types of editors. But I'm just showing you the base system at the moment so you understand the construct from the base out, and then you can expand upon that. So first off, on a page, remember pages are static. They don't change, they don't move around. You can modify them, but they stay in the menu. So you want the menu, the title of a page to be pretty short. Let's say the first thing we want is, let's say, about us. Okay, remember I made it so the URL is going to mimic what we put here. So let's put in some text. Let me go grab some text from something. Let's go to any website. We go to my own website. That way I don't have to worry about it. Let's get some text from something. So I'm just going to grab some text. Go back to my page. I'm going to paste it. So you can right mouse click. You can either paste it like it is, which brings over the way the text is, all its controls and different things, or you can just use plain. So it's going to, that'll use the site's own stuff. So I'm going to use plain. Up, somebody said something. Okay, going to leave. Thank you for a session. Sure enough, it'll be recorded and I'll send that out. Okay, have a good night. All right, so let me see. Somebody says, all right. All right, so let's say we put some text in place and we want to add something to make it look like a document. So we want to put our cursor somewhere. Then I'll say add, put the cursor here, add media. Let's pick a picture of sorts. I'm going to upload something. And let me pick some picture I have somewhere. Here's a good picture of something. Open that. Notice it's going to show you now. At this point, you want to SEO your stuff at the same time. So when you add a picture, you want to go ahead and give it an alt text. So we just say responsive. That's what that's for. Responsive. And I always take the alt also and be part of the title. And if you put captions, it's going to put a thing on the actual image. So I don't do that. So I'll put it here. So we'll say something. This is a responsive image, image located at, or whatever you want to put in here. But that's when Google searches, it's going to find that kind of information. So you want to put a lot of information in here. Okay. You might even want to put in your URL to your website. So I just want to take that much of it. That way, when Google finds it, you'll see all that. When you're done with all that stuff, you can pick the alignment. I'm going to say it's left justify, meaning the words are going to wrap around the right side of it. If I did right justify, the words will wrap around the left side of it. So I'll say left. I will not link it to anything, but you could link it to a custom URL or a file or some media. The media file is the actual image itself. So I'm not going to link it to it. You can also pick the size of the image. Remember I told you it creates multiple sizes when you upload one. This one was bigger than 660, so it created the full, medium, and a thumbnail. Actually, let me back up. It was not bigger than the full, so it left it as its normal size. That's full size. So you'd see something that say large. So it didn't make the large, because the large I think was 1024. So we got the original size, which is full, medium, and thumbnail. I'm going to pick the medium and insert that. There it is right there. So notice the words are wrapped around it with a nice little gap and all that. We don't want to fool with this. We remember we're controlling our menu via the graphical engine. So we don't even mess with this. We don't even want to look at that. Now the featured image is an image that will be used in place of this first image, but we don't have to. But I'll do it just so you can see what it might do on this theme. So let's pick something as a featured image that has nothing to do with what we have here. Let me pick this picture of York. That's a big image, boy. It took a while to load. Look at that thing. That thing was, what size is that thing? 1980 by 681. So you know good and well it produced multiple images of that guy. But because it's a featured image, it doesn't give you the chance to pick the image. It's going to adjust it for you. Remember to make sure you have an alt over it. That's for your SEO. In the description area, you're SEOing as we go. And save it. Notice it puts it in. I can tell right now, because it's horizontal like this, that if I look at this page, this is going to actually show up on our page. And let's see if I'm right. So let's say we're done with all this. We can do, let me back up. We can do other things. Like we can highlight stuff and, you know, hit bold and make colors, just like you would on a Word document. Okay. You can make links to stuff. Let's say you want to smart click that. You can add a link to it, to a website if you like, you know, that kind of thing. So it's just a matter of hovering over. It tells you what these are, depending on what kind of editor you're using. Or you could do it in text mode. Text mode is how you put in HTML. You can only do it in this way. This is how it understands it. So I'm using the WYSIWYG version, which is that. When I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and publish it. And remember I told you, every page we add, we're going to add it to the menu automatically. So if that's true, we go back and look at our website. look, there's about us right there. So if I click on that, there's that page. And notice the featured image makes it a little header image above that page. There's our little content with our image in between. So it looks pretty cute, right? So that's a page we just added. Now, let's go back now. That was a page. Let's go ahead and add a post. They're going to look exactly the same almost. So we hover over post, we can pick add new post. We can add category and tag. We don't need to do that because we can add them on the fly. So let's go ahead and add a new post. Notice it looks almost the same, except for it's got some other features on it. Of course, we got the same published stuff where we can save it as a draft, make it visible or not, so people need a password or whatever. But we can also change the format of the page. I don't mess with this much. I make my own format, WYSIWYG-wise. We can add categories and we add tags. Now, these are good for SEO. And then, of course, the featured image. So let's go ahead and make something. Let's say yellow dogs. Okay. We're going to add this to a category. We're going to add a category. We're going to call it dogs. Add that category. Okay, so now I pick that category. We're going to even add a tag. We'll say yellow for one tag. And we'll say dogs for another. And we'll say yellow dogs for another tag. These are like keywords or search words. We're going to even add a featured image. Let's go get something. Let me go find something that makes sense. I'm going to go to Google, type in yellow dogs. Pick the images. Now, you know this is illegal, but let's pick something. Let's save this. Right mouse click. I'm going to save that image to my downloads. Yellow dogs. Save it. Okay. And then I'm going to pick another image. Let me pick like a dog's face and save it. Another yellow dog. I'll just call it old yellow. Now I'll go back to my website where I was making it. I'm going to go ahead and add some text again. I wonder if I kept text. Nope, didn't. You'll get some more text. Let me go to one of my sites again. What was that? This one. Grab some text. Just so it looks right. Add that. Now notice, because this is a post, the name itself can be very long because it doesn't go in the menu, but it also becomes very search engine friendly. So you normally put a sentence here. I mean, I would put all about yellow dogs. Okay. Make it look sort of right. And you can highlight this and put this in here because it already did it once. I paste this in here, it's going to fix it for me. Notice, so that's the URL for it. And I'm going to leave this standard format. I pick that category. I'm going to pick a different featured image, upload it. That'll be this guy. And remember, we want to SEO it. That's the alt text. That's when your mouse moves over the image. Save that. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a picture in here with this, but I'm going to upload it again. And this time I'll pick the other yellow dog and I'm going to right justify it. So we'll say alignment right. And we can even click it and make it attached to the media file if we like. Insert that. So there's that dog. When it all looks about right, we can publish it. And notice it's a post, so it's only going to go in one place of the website. So if we go here, notice you don't see it. It's not in the menu. But if we click on blogs, notice there it is. Remember, it's the last one we put in becomes first. So look, there's our little header, which is our featured image, and there's the actual document. If we click on it, it's all by itself. If we had just blog, we'll see multiples. So we see that one, and then we also see the hello world underneath it. Excuse me. Let me click on it again. And there you go. Notice it shows stuff like who created it, when it was created. It's in the category of dogs. Here are our tag words. Okay. We can leave a comment on it. Notice you can't leave comments on pages, but you can leave comments on posts. Now, some themes allow you to leave comments on a page, and I think that's just stupid. You'd have to add a plugin to say remove comments off pages. So let's see if we can do that. Like About Us. Notice, see, you can't comment on that page. Well, we go to our blogs, actually hit the blog, we can comment on the blog, which makes sense. So now you know how to add pages, which is that. You know how to add blogs, which are those. Let's go to the back end again, and you might have everything taken care of. So at that point, you already know how to set up WordPress, make it so you can be seen by either blog post or page, static page. You can add themes. You can modify your theme. You can modify and play with widgets. We know how to do our menu. We can edit our theme. We knew how to do our settings and all our setups. The only thing we haven't done yet is go to add a plugin. So let's go to install plugins to see the plugins that we have. All right. And another thing to do is remove any plugin that you don't use, because that's how hackers get in too. We don't use them, remove them. And always keep them up to date. I always turn on auto update so it keeps them up to date. So let's say you want to add a new plugin. Let's find something we can add. Let's say we want to add, let's see, what's a good thing to add that's easy. Let's say a calendar. Now this is a true calendar, if you spell it right. All right, so here's a little calendar. You know what? I'm not going to add that. Those things are complicated to install. What else could I install to show how you install stuff? We'll just do it. Event. So we hit this button that says more, and it shows you what you're installing. You've hit screenshots that show you what you might get when you install it. You can also shows you how to install it, gives you information on how to install it, description of what it's going to give you feature wise. If you like it, you install it. Wait for this to happen. That's a big one. I should have got some simple calendar. This thing might be super complicated. They're all different. Every plugin, every theme are totally different. And you can also install something that doesn't work and breaks your whole site. Okay, and then when you do that, you have to go back to your server and remove the plugin. All right, so activate it. If everything works well, it'll come back and say it was. Now this one's going to ask for some, I'm not going to click back to them, so I'm just going to skip that. They want to like link to my site, say I'm using it. So when using event calendar, we recommend your blah, blah, blah to be American. So they're telling you right now you need to change your time zone. They don't like the -5. They want it to be some actual state and country. So I'm not going to do that right now. So let's just say the system's in place. If I hit view calendar, see, it automatically gave me a little calendar thing, a little page, right? But it's not on my website yet. So I got to figure out how that works. So when I go back to, let's see if it created a page for itself. Let me see if I click on events. Let me go back. Let's see, view calendar. So it did. It created a page or a URL called events, right? So let's see if it created a page for it. So if we go over to pages, wherever pages is, notice there's no page, right? But it showed what the link would be if it was a page. So we can go here to go appearances, go to menus, and we can go and add a custom link. We'll get this right here and put that right here and put in events, I think it said, right? And title, we'll just call it events. Events. Add that to the menu. Save it. Let's go see if that worked. I'll refresh the site. I click on events. And there's the event calendar right there. See month view, day view. So notice we added event calendar to our system by adding that plugin. Now, like I told you, every time you install a plugin, you get more little creature features called widgets. So let's go to widgets and see what we got. All right, so let's see, we gain anything? There we go, event list. So we got one. So we can take this one and grab it and sling it over to this bar, if we like. Call it, oh, wait a minute, I said calendar, the categories. I thought it was event list. Event list, right? Okay, upcoming events right there, see? Make it done. Go back to our website, refresh it, and notice there is that's another widget, but based on something we installed, okay? So if we were to go back into the calendar, which notice when you add stuff, it adds it to the menu. So now you have a tab that says events. Remember I told you this plus new would add? Look, now it says plus new event. We hit event, give it a title, test event, give it some text. I wonder if nope. Yep, I didn't save anything, so let me clear that out, get rid of that. So get some text from somewhere again. Paste that in there. And we probably have more stuff, see? So now we have days for the event. Let's say it's an all-day event. It's going to happen on the 9th, end on the 16th. Venue name, we'll just say venue. Some address, I'll put my own. Blah, 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 some website name, whatever. All this stuff you can put in here. The organizer, all this stuff. When you get done, oh, you can put in the cost of what it costs and everything. When you get done, you can just say, oh, and you have the ability to put in categories for the event if you have different kind of events, all kind of different features. And this is just for this one. We can add a feature image for that event. Let's say it's the dog thing. And let's publish it. And let's see what happens. Oh, it takes a while. Yep, that's done. Let's go to the website. Let's go home. Let's go to events. And look, shows up. There's an event just like it would be like a post. We can click on that event. And there's the event. Blah, blah, blah. Details, blah, blah, blah. All this kind of stuff. Added to the calendar. Da, 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 da. We can also see it in the, right there. See, upcoming events. See, right there on the 9th. All right. So now we've done plugins and all that old kind of stuff. So that's really, there is nothing else to WordPress other than getting better at it, adding more stuff, working on different themes and different things like that. Have any questions? All right. Well, if there's no questions, then I will end it out right there. So I guess, oh, somebody said something here. Oh, how to add link to Excel. You mean like an Excel spreadsheet?
Correct. So let's say I have a list of things in there in Excel, and then it's easier for me just update the Excel and just have the page. Anybody that clicks opens the Excel.
Okay, well, here's how you can do it. Two different ways. For one, you can make it so the Excel sheet can show up right directly in the page by going to plugins and giving it that feature. So let's say we say Excel. All right, so tables. So you can look through here, find something that can show Excel. So WordPress, product Excel, import, export. That's for WooCommerce. Nope. We want to display export Excel. So let's see, beautiful feature, da 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 da. Gravity forms, entries in Excel. Let's see here. Import sheets from Excel. Import live, calculate sheet, da, 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 da. Let's see what this does. Embed, blah, blah, blah. This looks too complicated. What I would probably do, if it wasn't an active sheet, I would probably save it as a PDF, then add that to the page. All right, here's an embedder right there. Now, I think this is exactly what you need. So let's look at this. Okay, this does all of them. So we go ahead and install that. Basically, you're giving them a feature to the system. I'm going to add that. Now, let's go get an Excel sheet, which I probably have somewhere. And probably in my, I probably have it, I know I have it right here. There's an Excel sheet right there. So let's just highlight that. So I know where to get it. I'm going to go ahead and make a page. Add a page. It can be a post or whatever. We'll call this a sheet. I'm going to go ahead and add media, upload, and I'm going to get that Excel sheet. Paste it. And okay, why don't I see it? Oh, because of this. Let's say all files. Let's see, where's the Excel sheet? Oh, right there. All right, open that one. Remember to SEO this thing, you know, make your words and stuff. Install it. Now that one is just a link. Let's see if I can install it as a real one. So let me say pick it. And instead of it being a media file. Nope. No, it won't let me do that. If I publish this, see what happens. I haven't used this before, so let's view that page. So it doesn't show it. So if I click it, it's probably going to pull it up. So it allows me to save it. I don't want it even to be like that. We want it to embed it. So you have to have a plugin to do it, to actually embed that sheet. And here's the easy embedder. Let's see how that works. Add new title, test, source, could be the media library, format. This is probably XLS. Choose the file, Excel. I've never used this before, so we'll see what happens.
That's okay.
Publish it. Oh, I see. And see this right here? It's giving you this little code right here. It's called a short code. We go back to our pages now and look at that Excel sheet. It might even have a little menu item up there, but it doesn't. So we can just erase this out, put this short code there, update it, and see what happens. See if I view it, see what happens. And look at that. There's the spreadsheet.
Okay. All right. And that's just, I mean, that's not editable. That's what I want.
Yeah, this is not editable.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, it's just it almost makes it like a PDF or something.
Right. Yeah.
Which you could have just made it a PDF and did it too.
Right. A workaround to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't get out of this window. Let me see. Can't get away from it.
You just have to close because it opened when you clicked it. It opened in another tab. So that's what you have.
I know it is, and it's underneath this menu thing that keeps coming down. So I can't see. I can't get under it, and I can't move this thing. Oh yeah, I can. Hey, I moved it. Okay. There we go. Now I can get to it.
Right.
Now I can close the window. There we go.
Right.
So anyway, it puts it. That's how you do it. So that plugin that we installed. We go back to the dashboard. Easy and Better is what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that guy right there.
Yep.
Good to know. I don't like stuff that's 1.0 version though.
Yeah. It makes you feel like a guinea pig, right?
Yeah, because I don't see right here. Even see, it even says warning. It's not been tested on your version. So in 1.0 it works, but I'm scared of it.
We're going to have to be tested. Right.
But look, it does PDFs. PowerPoints, both the old version and new version. It
Right.
does both the old version, new version of Excel, and it does the new version of Docs.
Mhm.
So, oh, and it
Good.
does the old Word.
Yep.
So that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Maybe actually works. That's why they haven't done a new version yet.
Yeah, because it did work immediately. So,
Yeah. Right.
all right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll kill all these eventually.
Right.
So, any other questions?
Yeah. I don't know if Paul has anything right now. I have one more, then I'll let you go. First,
All
I
right.
want to say this was great. Thank you very much. You're very good at explaining. That was fantastic. Right at the beginning, when you're setting up the page, right, there was a home page and there was a second page, right?
Okay.
Remember, right at the beginning when you're setting things up. So my question is, if I have multiple, so basically, okay, so all the other pages like you have there on the main menu, they'll come out of this secondary page, right? Or out of the home page.
Yeah, you can make any page and make it a home page.
Okay.
See right here, it's
Yeah.
telling me right here that that one's set to a home page. But I could have very well went into appearances. I mean, to settings, into reading,
Mhm.
and pick something else as a home page. I could have
Okay.
picked privacy policy if I wanted to. And
Right.
now, if I go here and hit home, notice the privacy. It shows the privacy policies highlighted because that's the
Right.
one it's landing on when I hit the home, or the
Right.
base URL.
Mhm.
If that answered your question, I don't know if it did or not.
Right, that's a little bit. And then any other pages that I have, that'll be like a different categories. They'll show up on the menu of the home page, right? Or
Only if you tell it to go to the menu.
right. Okay.
Because let me put this back because it's confusing.
Sure.
You have to tell it in the menu under appearances that the menu that you're going to use for your primary menu is automatically taking pages that you produce. If you turn that off, they're not going to show up until you actually add them to this menu.
Okay. Now, can you select which pages will show up to different pages? Because what I'm thinking is I'm taking care of a community website. I
Yep.
just inherited it. And so I want to have differentiation between regular residents and board members. So they'll have different menus.
You can. You mean like if people log in and become members, they can see something different than if they just go to the website and not log in at all.
Right, and even the regular residents, if they log in, they won't see the same things that board members can see.
You can do that. You can set that up. You have to add plugins to do that. Or
Okay.
so the plugin would so you can change the menu based on membership. So we would go to plugins, and the way I would find it is I would go here and I'd put in menu.
So membership, yeah.
I would put menu, and I think it's users.
Okay.
Let me see here. So it's right here. Show hide menu items to logged in users, log out users, or specific user roles. So this is one right here. This will allow you to set up menus based on the user roles. So you got different user types. So if we go to users, notice right now we only have an administrator.
Right.
But if you add a user, you can also tell them that they're different kind of roles. See?
Right.
Contributor, authors, editors, administrators, or just subscribers. A subscriber is a person that just registers to the website. You can also add plugins that can make you so you can have different user roles. You can create different kind of user roles, and then you can use that plugin probably to modify your menu based on those different user roles.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. Because I'm probably going to need that because I'm going to have visitors, residents, and board of directors. So,
yeah, well, there you go.
So, so they'll be perfect for it. Thank you for mentioning.
Yep. Like I'm building a site here for York, and I'll show you. ORK. York. This one here. All right, so I'm actually logged in because it still remembers me logged in.
Cool.
But it has different roles. It has a social media profile to it. So if you're logged in, you have all these different abilities, like to look at members. Let me click on it here.
Mhm.
So you have different members, just me at the moment.
Right.
But you can also like click on your own thing and create a profile and see there's all profiles. You can communicate between members and chat and all this other kind of stuff. So this is a leveled system. So if you were to look at this system without being logged into it, like if I open it up into Cognito and not be logged in.
Mm.
So this is I'm not logged in at this point. So if I hit members, I can see members, but I can't really do anything.
Right.
So there's members. I can click on that member. But notice I can't really do anything. Nope, this thing still have me logged into it.
Mhm.
So I can see the friends. I can see the post of that member, but I can't literally do anything. Like I can't communicate with them.
Okay.
That's
View on. Yeah.
I was actually a member.
Right.
Let's see if somebody said something. How do I add? Oh, okay, that was you still. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me kill that. Kill this. Any other questions?
No, I'm good. You did above and beyond what I expected. Really appreciate that.
Not a problem. Where are you from, actually?
I'm in Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Let me stop the recording here.
Okay.
Where the hell? Stop